providing such a lot of, uh, ecosystem services, if I may say, with this, with the mangroves as such. So I think while the loss and damage and vulnerable communities debate started off with the island nations, but as a nation, I think in India we need to kind of start figuring out who are the most vulnerable people and most vulnerable regions. And I think that debate did come about today when we were talking about the Calcutta climate plan as to who in Calcutta are the most vulnerable. Because I think within vulnerable spaces also there are extremely vulnerable people, or within communities there are different sections. But I think what could easily be done is regional, but as of now, no attempt has been made. There has been lip service to both the mangroves and the mountains, but not really responding to the needs. Because I think ultimately, I also kind of see it as how much of resources are you investing in it, right? You can have the best of plans. The reality is, how do you take that plan forward? Because invariably, climate mitigation, adaptation, and resilience building needs a huge amount of investment. And sometimes, if you look at per capita, it will be way above like the rest. And so I think that push and pull, is a huge problem. There was an interesting work we are in the 16th finance right now, right? In the 15th Finance Commission, if I'm not mistaken, there was extra weightage given to forest cover, right? And that came to the state. How the state used is a different question. But at least there was an acknowledgement forest cover should be compensated. Because if you look at it from the other side, if it's also loss of opportunities, right? So yeah, I think if that makes sense, but somewhere down the line, I don't know how Andamans and all will feature with climate change, right? Look at the entire coastline of India. And within coastline, what will happen to the small fisher folk, and like for us in the mountains, and if what I see in Himachal, what I see in Uttarakhand, what I see in Darjeeling, Sikkim, and in Ladakh, I don't think the nation really kind of wants to really invest in equity and justice. I think it's still very extractive. So we might have the best intentioned authored climate action plans, and unless and until that loss and damage becomes financial reality and proper devolution of power, as well as decision making to the local communities, it's like the Forest Rights Debate Act, So I hope that kind of covers it. So I know I presented Darjeeling. Just to close, I have huge solidarity for people in difficult circumstances and regions. I shout out because there are not enough people shouting about mountains, but I keep meeting people in coastal regions. We work a lot with waste workers, waste pickers. We are, in various platforms with different communities. And I think that's the other side of it. To show solidarity is an important aspect. With the aquifers, for us in Darjeeling, there's definitely reduced water in aquifers, which gets recharged during the monsoons because we do get crazy rains. So what is happening is our spring discharge rates are reducing dramatically during winter and dry months. But because of our eastern Himalaya getting the brunt of monsoon, we get sufficient water for the aquifers to recharge. So as of now, we haven't had sinkage as yet, but also the tankers also don't draw groundwater. They tap spring water from further away from Darjeeling town. So as of now, there hasn't been any physical intervention to draw out aquifer water. So as of now, I say as of now because sometimes there are people who say, oh, can we dig in water? So luckily we haven't really done that. They tried to do it in Kalimpong once, which is a smaller town in the Darjeeling. Now it's a district, but there was sufficient civil society community voices to stop that. But they were trying it. So that way we are lucky, But like I said, a lot of our work on water equity, access, and citizenship actually comes from literature around Bombay, So we've read that a lot, and we've kind of contextualized to our space. Definitely, waste workers are the most invisibilized people in India or across the world as such, And I think there are multiple levels of injustice to them. Definitely, for Darjeeling, I know waste workers were brought in from Rajasthan by the Britishers. So we do have a huge size a population in Darjeeling from Rajasthan who grew up with the town when the Britishers brought them from Rajasthan. They do have their own community, but the least voices heard in Darjeeling because primarily they've just worked in and around waste. Solid waste is the same problem. In the initial days, when I was small, it used to be people from outside. But as of now, there are more and more people locally. But like I said, their voices are not heard. They are not included in, and it's a weird culture we have. We like fight with waste workers to give them 50 rupees a day. Like that's so weird. What has been interesting to listen to waste workers is that as soon as that 50 rupees a day came in, the amount of waste that was being given to them on a daily basis increased in size also. And especially in the mountain cities point of view, recycling works really terribly because collection is extremely difficult. Segregation at source is not there. So whatever recycling that is done is actually by the waste workers, because they do pick. But also the community still looks down on them. They are considered like troublemakers, or they will steal something. Whereas I think anyone who works on waste recognizes in India waste workers are actually one of the environmental service providers. The knowledge that they have on waste is like crazy. They know which is sellable, which is not. And the reason why you see more and more plastic waste across the landscape is because there is no financial value of collecting it. So actually that's there. And the final one is, as we go into centralized modes of waste management, more and more waste workers are being excluded in these systems because there is a financial aspect to it, and they just collect it, burn it, whatever they do it, but excluding. So if you look at a lot of waste workers' work, Swachh Pune has done some fascinating work, and from a waste workers' right, how to collect systems and decentralize it. But as of now, they're facing tension because the municipalities trying to close the waste workers collective from continuing with their work, and they want to go technocratic and they want to go the Indore model. So yeah, I think I'm pretty sure Calcutta also has the same, and so that's one aspect. And then I was actually thinking from a climate point of view, imagine working on like solid waste, stinky, methane producing, like unsegregated waste. There is biomedical waste, there's sanitary waste, food waste, all comes in, and you're managing that. So imagine their physical and mental well-being. It's crazy. Yeah. Yep. There is extreme caste-based injustices there too, and it is hugely invisibilized. And even for Darjeeling, definitely it is caste-based as such. However much you deny it, it is caste-based for sure. It's also hugely migrant-based also now.
So it seems you don't have any other questions. So could I possibly call this session to be over? So Shatabdi, so this session is coming to a close. Please take over.